Hi boys and girls, hope you enjoyed the story. This is Goldilocks and the Three Bears. Once upon a time there were three bears who all lived together in a little house in the forest. There was the great big daddy bear, the middle-sized mummy bear, and the little tiny baby bear. One morning the three bears made a pot of porridge for their breakfast, but it was too hot to eat. "Let's go for a walk in the forest," said Mummy Bear. "When we get back, the porridge will have cooled." Not long after the three bears had left, the little girl with the golden hair came up to the house. Her name was Goldilocks. She knocked on the door 3 times. When no one answered, she tried the handle, and to her surprise, the door opened. Goldilocks walked in and went straight over to the table. "Oh, porridge, my favourite," she said. First, Goldilocks tasted the porridge in the great big bowl. "Oh, too much, too salty," she said. Then she tasted the porridge in the middle-sized bowl. "Oh, too much, too sweet," she said. Last of all, she tasted the porridge in the tiny little bowl. Just right," said Goldilocks, and she ate it all up. Goldilocks felt very full, so she went into the sitting room where there were 3 chairs. First she sat on the great big chair. "Oh, much too hard," she said. Then she sat on the middle-sized chair. "Oh, much too soft," she said. Last of all, she sat on the tiny baby chair. "Ah, just right," said Goldilocks. But crack! The tiny baby chair broke into pieces and Goldilocks fell to the floor. Now Goldilocks felt tired. She went upstairs to the three bears' bedroom. First she lay down on the great big bed. "Oh, much too high," she said. Then she lay down on the middle-sized bed. "Oh, much too lumpy," she said. And last of all, she lay on the tiny baby bed. It was just right. So Goldilocks went straight to sleep. Soon the 3 bears came back from their walk. They were all very hungry. Daddy Bear looked at his great big bowl. "Who's been eating my porridge?" he said with his great big voice. Mummy Bear looked at her middle-sized bowl. "Who's been eating my porridge?" she said in her middle-sized voice. Then Baby Bear looked at his tiny baby bowl. "And who's been eating my porridge?" he cried in his tiny baby voice. "And has eaten it all up." The 3 bears went into the sitting room. Daddy Bear turned around to sit in his chair. "Who's been sitting in my chair?" he said in his great big voice. Mummy Bear looked at her chair. "Who's been sitting in my chair?" she said in her middle-sized voice. Then Baby Bear looked at his chair. "Who's been sitting in my chair?" he cried in his tiny baby voice, "and has broken it all to pieces." The 3 bears ran up the stairs to look in their bedroom. "Who's been sleeping in my bed?" said Daddy Bear in his great big voice. "Who's been sleeping in my bed?" said Mummy Bear in her middle-sized voice. Then Baby Bear looked at his bed. "Who's been sleeping in my bed?" he cried in his tiny baby voice, "and is still there." Goldilocks woke up and was very frightened to see the 3 bears all looking down at her. She leaped out of bed, jumped straight out of the window and ran home as fast as she could. And the 3 bears never saw her again. The end. Hope you enjoyed, boys and girls. Bye-bye.